Why don't we separate out the Space Force from the Air Force? These are two different regimes of our of military interest.
Very importantly, I'm hereby directing to establish a Space Force. We are going to have the Air Force and we are going to have the Space Force, separate but equal.
Not since the Air Force has anything like this happened, and now we have Space Force added on with full honors, I must add, with full honors. And it's going to be very special, very important. First time in 72 years plus that we've opened up a new branch of the United States military. That's a big day.
Can somebody explain the logo? The orbit around the globe signifies the space capabilities that fuel our American way of life and our American way of war.
I think it's actually, it's cool that there is the creation of the Space Forces. What the public wants, I think, and we're actually pretty confident that the public does want this, is Starfleet Academy.
Speaking for the United States Space Force, there already is a Starfleet Academy. It's the United States Air Force Academy in Colorado Springs, Colorado.
Sure.
Welcome to Peterson Air Force Base and the ceremony to recognize the establishment of United States Space Command. On behalf of the Commander, United States Space Command, General John W. Raymond, I extend a warm welcome to the military and civilian personnel, elected officials, who have joined us today as we recognize the establishment of the nation's 11th Combatant Command.
We need to recognize the fact that by establishing this command, we have reached a significant milestone. However, we have a big task ahead. We must move fast, and we must be bold in fielding space warfighting capabilities in order to execute our assigned missions.
Why do we need a Space Force?
Russians have already developed a satellite called Cosmos 2499. They've nicknamed it Kamikaze because they say it could at some point have the capability to go on the attack and slam into American satellites. Experts at the firm Analytical Graphics, who've analyzed this satellite, believe the larger Russian satellite, quote, birthed a smaller satellite a couple of months later. Then, a couple of months after that, the smaller Russian satellite birthed an even smaller satellite.
This morning, Space Force enters a new frontier, launching this space plane from Cape Canaveral. The X-37B has been used for intelligence gathering since long before President Trump directed the Pentagon to create a Space Force. But this mission will have a different feel, dedicated to the victims of the COVID-19 pandemic and frontline workers.
It's a lot of jobs, it's a lot of technology. You know, we have Space Force now.
They used to say the sky's the limit, but for us in space, there is no limit. Generation Space.
Generation Space. Generation Space.
Generation Space has answered.
I am so happy to see the Space Force because the time is now. The domain of warfare has been pushed into low Earth orbit and beyond, and it is time for our military to step up to the plate.
Space is going to change world power. If there is not some guardian force that brings predictability to that economic marketplace, violence ensues. And it's just a part of human nature, and that will not change.
Yesterday's thinking will not defeat tomorrow's challenges. It's time to evolve, to change the way we protect and defend our vital interests in space.
And I very proudly created the 6th branch of the United States Armed Forces, the Space Force. That's a big deal. You think just that, if you did just that, that's like, oh, that's a good presidency. The United States Space Force. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you.